Hey there everyone, welcome back to the Dan Cave and welcome to July 2024 on the bench. So, the keen-eyed amongst you may have noticed that there was no June 2024 on the bench. So that's mainly in part due to a little bit of laziness and a little bit of lack of activity on the bench at the moment. So it was a little bit of a slowdown through probably May and June, kind of work related, other stuff. Weather was nice, a little bit of progress on the garden, that kind of stuff. So yeah, I was just busy and just didn't really do as much modeling as I've done kind of normally in a typical month. So kind of got to the start of June, realized there wasn't really much going on. So decided I'd not do a bench update and push it back to this month. And this month has rolled around. We're now 3rd of July when I record this. Hopefully still the 3rd of July when I release it, if I get it done and edited tonight. And so yeah, that's where we are, start of July. So it's a bit of a look back over kind of the last 2 months actually, in terms of what progress has been made. And there's been a bit, so hopefully you'll stick with me. So if you're new here, don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to like the video. The thumbs up type thingy, and feel free to leave a comment as well. So tonight, this bench update will cover all those usual things that I cover. So there's going to be what's been built, what's been bought, what's in progress, and random thoughts, because often I need to express random thoughts from time to time. So without further ado, that's the intro done. So it'll be on to what's been built. So I only really paused because I wrote a list and I wanted to check the list, and I didn't want to be sat here going, what's on the list? So that's the only reason we paused. So what's been built? First things first, what's been built? So first up, really pleased with how this particular kit went together. A reasonable amount of effort put in. So that's the Tamiya 24th scale Toyota GT1. So final pictures. So that's done. It's completed. It's in a case up there. Really happy with how this came out. Not one of Tamiya's best kits. It's quite an old kit at this stage, but there is a lot of detail in there. And actually, I really enjoyed working on it. Really enjoyed putting it together. Plenty of work. Some areas don't fit brilliantly, with a lot of these kind of complex rear wings. So areas around the rear wing and the rear engine cover, the fit's not brilliant. But, it's a relatively cheap kit from Tamiya, and actually, there's a lot of building in there because there's quite a lot of detail on the interior, the engine, the chassis and running gear, etc. So to that, essentially built straight from the box. The main additions that I kind of added to it were, I added a lot of carbon fiber. So a lot of carbon fiber from Scale Motorsport, Tamiya's carbon fiber, a couple of different patterns in different areas, loosely based off of the Studio 27 carbon set. I couldn't get one, had a look, couldn't get one, so I kind of used their template as a guide to what I needed to carbon fiber. So kit went together fine, primed in, bodywork was done, primed in UMP pink primer. Then it was Zero Paint's equivalent to TS49. Decals went down absolutely fine. And then Gravity Spain 2K. Went through a little bit of experimentation on trying to get it polished up as best I could, flattened back and polished and stuff. So kind of post that, there'll be a few changes to how I polish things, because I've played around with some different products. Kind of ran out of UMP polishing compounds anyway, and decided to switch to Meguiar's, because I had Meguiar's polishing stuff, so it was worth the switch. So there we go. That's the what's been built. That's the one and only kit that's been built. Technically, there is another one finished, but I've put it in the in progress because there's a few tiny little details and it's not been photographed yet. So arguably that's not finished, and it definitely means next month's bench update there'll be what's been finished. So that's my thinking at the moment. So that's all for what's been finished. So next up is what's been bought. So I think over the last couple of months been very little bought, but I was away for a day or two with my wife recently, and we popped into Scale Model Shed, popped into their model store, which was near to where we were out at the time. So decided to make a trip down there. Had a look around the shop, and because the Isle of Man TT was around the same time, I ended up picking up this. So this is the 1/9 scale Manx Norton from 1951. So Jeff Dukes, World Championship winning Manx Norton. So quite a big box. There's actually not that much in it, because to be honest, there's not a huge amount in these older bikes anyway. But I thought it'd be nice to do a 1/9 scale kit. See what I can make of this Atalieri kit. I'm sure it's probably an ex-Protar mold anyway, and reasonably priced. And I don't know, I saw it and I felt somewhat brave, so I'll attempt that at some point. So that's it. That's all that's been bought recently. So that's it for the what's been bought section. So let's move swiftly on. So what's in progress? So in progress at the moment, there are 3 kits in progress. So first up is the one I briefly mentioned earlier, which is, to all intents and purposes, is actually completed. There's a few tiny little touch-ups I just want to do, and then it's photographs and that kit's finished. So that's the Atalieri 72nd scale F4 Phantom. So this is a boxing they do of the US Vietnam Aces. So that's, from memory, Robin Olds, Steve Ritchie, Randy Cunningham's US Navy one, and Jeffrey Feinstein. I say from memory, but I've actually got the box here. So when I say memory, I mean reading. So I've built the Robin Olds one in US Air Force schemes. That's an F4C from the US Air Force, and yeah, that's pretty much done and dusted. So the pictures you're going to see are going to be very close to the end, mainly through the decal and weathering stage, but a few photos just to show you where that kit has gotten to in terms of in progress. So that was quite an enjoyable build, actually. To those Atalieri 72nd scale Phantoms are, for their age, they're not bad kits. You know, they've got recessed panel lines. Detail is not amazing, but it's not bad for a kit of its age. They go together well. A little bit of filler, particularly around the intakes, but that's the classic Phantom kit problem. And yeah, so quite pleased with how that's come out. So that was kit number 1. So kit number 2, that was in progress, is of course the 12th scale Renault RE20. So this kit has now gotten to the stage where pretty much all the front end is put together. So in the previous ones you would have seen I've got the seat together, kind of the start of the front end, you know, the pedal box, the start of the suspension arms and steering arms. So now I've progressed on to kind of finish off the hubs and the front brakes. That's been added to with the kind of front parts of the fairing as well, which were flattened and polished up. So they were flattened and polished using Meguiar's polishing compounds, which I'm really pleased with how they actually worked on that. And then that was assembled, and of course the brake discs and hubs assembled into that as well. So as you've seen in the pictures kind of floating across the screen, that's coming together nicely. I think next step on that will be the radiators. Once the radiators are done, I'm then going to progress onto the engine, which will be a big block of work for this kit to get the engine done. Then it'll probably be rear end, then the exterior wings and stuff like that. So still quite a lot of work to do, but a lot of progress has been made already. So kind of bear with me on this one. So yeah, so that was kit number 2. Kit number 3 is the 25th scale Revell Corvette C5R. So this one is in the CompuWare scheme. You would have seen a couple of months ago that went into 2K, so that was deckled and 2K'd. So that's been sat curing for an absolute age. Bear with me. So as you can see, that's the body. That's the completely 2K body. It's sat curing, not been flattered and polished yet, but that's looking fairly spectacular in that color scheme. Really like that scheme. So since then, kind of progressed on to priming a lot of the interior. It's kind of an odd assembly sequence. The interior builds up kind of around the engine transmission tunnel, and then you begin to build the interior and roll cage around it. So maybe not your typical assembly sequence. So I decided I'll go back to almost kind of logically following the kind of kit sequence. So yeah, so basically paint, engine was primed, painted. It's not really going to be visible once the body is on, so not a huge amount was done to that. Seat was done, used some scale production harness, some seatbelt buckles. Not convinced on them, they're not great. And yeah, roll cage was painted up. So decided to go paint the roll cage in body color. On the yellow cars, the roll cage is in gunmetal. Couldn't find really clear pictures of the roll cage in this car, so decided just to go with body color on it. So yeah, so that's now in that kind of progressing on the interior assembly. And yeah, so hopefully I'm going to get that probably complete in the next week or two. So pleased with progress on it nonetheless. So yeah, so that's all that's in progress at the moment. So yeah, that's in progress done. So there we have it. That is built, bought, in progress. Yeah, that's kind of it. So not really much else to talk about. I think I've rambled on for long enough. As I said before, I'm trying to keep these bench updates a little bit snappier, a little bit briefer. Hopefully you enjoy them. And yeah, I certainly enjoy putting them together because it's a good way to reflect on kind of what I've built and what's kind of going on the bench and what's in progress and stuff like that. So it's a good kind of, for me at least, it's a historical record and kind of proof of what I have or haven't done over the years as well. So I do enjoy them, and I hope you do too. So yeah, let's finish on that. Actually, no, let's finish on. If you're not a subscriber, please subscribe. Really helps kind of boost the channel. If you like the video, give it a like as well. If we can get videos to 50 likes, that really helps the channel as well, because that generates more traffic for non-subscribers, or at least more suggestions for non-subscribers to come visit. That level of engagement, then when videos are being watched and liked and people subscribe, it kind of inspires me to keep going as well. So yeah, so I really appreciate all the support that I've gotten to date. And of course, for this video specifically, if you have any comments, stick them in the comment field down below. So I'm going to say adios. We're done for today. Thanks for watching. I hope you've enjoyed it. And I'll see you all very, very soon in another video. So bye-bye for now.